Hello, my dear wandering soul. Welcome into today's monthly pick a card reading. We're going to take a look at the month of December. We're going to get some energies that are most prominent for you, as well as look at some challenges, some opportunities, and get some overall guidance and direction for you to help you move through the energies with ease. Now, remember that these aren't predictive readings. These are simply just to give you a little bit of guidance, a little bit of insight to help you make choice and empower you to make those choices. And if something catches your eye in this reading, feel free to make a comment if there's anything that I've missed. I'd love to hear that. But also, I feel that your perspective will deepen and confirm the messages for yourself, for me, and for others. So use these messages as guidance for reflection and not rules to follow. Take what feels right and leave what does not. Now, the timestamps for each one of these soul paths is in the description box with anything else you'd like to know about my channel or to connect with me on other platforms. For those who would like a close-up of the crystals today to help make their selection a little bit easier, let me do that right now. For Soul Path 1, we have the Pyrite Stone. For Soul Path 2, we have the Red Selenite. And for Soul Path 3, we have the Adventurine Stone. So with that, I will leave you to choose the pile that you're most drawn to, and we will see you in your reading. Hello, my Soul Path 1. Welcome into your reading. You chose the Pyrite Stone, and when I picked this up to show you in the pile selection, I got Dark Side of the Moon. So I don't know if that's relevant for someone, but I also feel like you could be on the dark side of the moon and are looking for some opportunity to make some changes, to do things differently, to move through a challenge as well. Now, when I pre-shuffled this deck, this card came out, so this could be a very prominent message or theme that is going to be for you in the month of December. So let's take a look. We have thoughts. Cultivate your ideas with the number 43. So with that, I immediately got the thought that it's important to pay attention to your thoughts. What are you thinking about? Why are you thinking about that thing? And even in situations where you're telling yourself a story or reaffirming some kind of belief when a certain situation or a trigger comes up. So it's being very mindful of how you cultivate your thoughts, how you cultivate your ideas. What are the foundations and what kind of structure are you giving these thoughts? Are you acting upon them? Are you bringing them into form? That could be for some. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have locked or lock. Something is hidden or locked with the number 36. So maybe thoughts that are locked up, or maybe thoughts that you are keeping to yourself. So I don't know if this is secret thoughts. Keeping a lid on something. Keeping a lid on an idea. But let's get into the tarot. For Soul Path 1. We have two number 3s here, so there's almost an expansiveness of ideas. Having a good foundation to expand on those ideas. Let's get 3 cards. some funny energy here. There's, even when I'm talking, I'm tripping up. I'm missing words. So we have Judgment on that side. We have the Four of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, and the Seven of Cups in reverse at the bottom. Ooh, I'm getting an interesting hit from this. I feel you put a lot of limitations on yourself, and that you're telling yourself that you can't do something. Something feels too big. Something feels too beyond you. And that's really closing off the opportunity for you to, or the choices that you might have to explore that. It's almost like your mind is your own worst enemy, your inner critic. I feel like you're really hard on yourself. You're very critical of yourself. And because of that, you restrict or even hold yourself back in a way that you don't see. So I almost wonder if that's the something hidden or locked, is that there's a need to shift your perspective, to go beyond where you find yourself or where you've been. Because I feel there's an energy in the month of December that is trying to uplift you or to move you to somewhere new, but there's a digging in of the heels. Like, no, I can't go there. Either there's a lack of readiness, or there is a fear that is holding you back or preventing you from taking steps. Now, I will say mental health could be a very significant aspect to this reading. So if that is the case and you're seeing yourself in that space right now, December is going to be how to unlock those thoughts, how to unlock yourself from the cage, the mental cage that I feel you've been in. Whether that is from a situation, whether it's circumstantial or from another person, or just something that you've been dealing with for a really long time. This is the month to address that, so that you can rise above. And this is really difficult energy. It requires your presence. It requires you to find a safe space, a safe environment to be able to do that. And it does require a will or a participation in exploring the depths of your emotions and how your emotions are affecting your thoughts and how your thoughts are affecting your emotional responses. So this is about cultivating new thought patterns, cultivating new ways of speaking to yourself, communicating to yourself, but also others. And this is a very foundational month for you. This is something where something gets addressed that could change the trajectory or direction of your life. It may even open up options. But I do feel there has been some confusion around this. Again, it's like a mental knot. And you're not quite sure kind of what's entangled in that knot, because there's so much going on within the mind that maybe you're not able to feel your emotions in a way that feels clear and true and understood. So I do feel that while this might be challenging, I think this is a month where this finally comes to a head or changes direction. So I want to get some clarifiers. What's funny is that I usually use the large deck as, well, all of my large decks is the main reading, and then the clarifiers are the smaller ones. But I'm doing things differently. So I do feel that's part of this energy too, is that You may have to do something differently than what has been conditioned, what has been a pattern, what has been a behavior for a while, to turn something around here or to see things in a different way. Judgment, we have the 7, so that is clarifying. Judgment is being clarified by the 7 of Cups in reverse. So again, it's an underlying energy that I don't think is a secret. So I don't think your emotions or your choices, I think you understand the limits right now. What is this 4 of the Moon? There's your dark side of the Moon. And so this is facing your conditioned beliefs, your patterns of thinking, how they affect your behaviors, how they affect where you spend your time, your money. But I do feel like this is a journey you are ready to undertake. I feel like this has been something that you've been ready for some time, but maybe you're waiting for something to change and nothing's changing, so it's time for you to take that action. But if you have been taking that action and you have been getting some clarity about things already, this is the month where you really start to see progress. But with that comes a lot of questions. So I think it's going to get a little bit stickier and trickier before things become clear, because there's something that needs to come to an end, that needs to come to a close. I think certain things, there's going to be an end to something and the start of something new, but it's the start of walking through the fog and not just standing at the edge or the threshold of that fog. You're now curious enough to push through it, to move through it. What is this 10 of Swords? And you're doing it very reluctantly, but I feel like you're ready for it at the same time. Because you don't want to maybe think this way or feel this way. And there is the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. So I think this is why you are understanding things, emotionally speaking, subconsciously. Maybe even having the subconscious become conscious is because you have done a lot of introspection. Maybe you've done a lot of work up to this point already. And this is really beautiful with the 10 of Swords clarified by the 9 of Pentacles. This is where you start to step into your power, step into your independence from whatever this thing is that has been weighing really heavy on your mind, that has affected your mental health. There's also a call to focus on your physical body, getting into your body, getting into environments that make you feel safe, calm, secure, and working on your self-worth. So the body will affect the mind. Here, with the 4 of Pentacles, I feel you're really hanging on tightly and even having a mindset of I'm not enough or I don't have enough. There's almost a feeling of lack here. Like I don't have what it takes or I can't do this. But here, it's like you accept something, you face something. And while it might be really challenging and painful, it also gives you some kind of freedom from something and helps you build back better. But it doesn't happen in the mind. It's all about the physical material world of where you place your time, energy, money, values, how you are seeing abundance, growth, gratitude, even aligning to your values more. What do you believe you can achieve? What do you believe about your life, about your past, about your future? So I think there's a lot of groundwork that has been laid up to this point, and you're looking at the hidden thing, the thing that may have kept you stuck before, that may have caused you some kind of pain, stress, anxiety, some kind of suffering. So December is going to, I feel, unlock a lot of these restrictions, these limitations, maybe even some gifts. And yeah, overall, I feel you're cultivating some new things here. So there's a pattern that's being rewired. Let's get one or two more cards. I want to get two, just to end your reading. Final message for Soul Path 1. What can you share? And if this reading resonated, feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment. Optimism and gladness with number 30. That's lovely. So there is blue skies coming here. If you are moving through the dark side of the moon, I feel the sun will rise. The blue skies will come out. There's an optimism here that I don't think you quite see, but I feel is incoming. However, we have sorrow and regret with the number 13. This is death energy. So I don't think you can get this without moving through that. But just as I mentioned, having freedom and independence from whatever this is, I feel like that's you. There's open sky in both of these cards. So there's a breath of fresh air. There is a vastness. There are possibilities. There's an openness to explore something new, but also an acceptance and allowance of what you have to leave behind in that process. And that could be an identity. That could be certain aspects of yourself that you've carried for so long that has made up a certain storyline or belief system. But this could also be people as well. People, places, things. And that, I believe, is what's part of this Ten of Swords energy, is that you're done with something completely and you're fully surrendering or accepting or giving way to what you have to release in order to open up to what is next. So stay optimistic, my dear Soul Path 1. You're doing the work and you're doing great. All right, my friend, I'm going to leave this reading here. Let me know if and how this resonated with you. Comment, like, and subscribe. Or if you're craving more inspiration and intuitive support, my Patreon is where I connect with you more deeply and where I share monthly energy insights, tarot messages, and soul prompts to help you stay connected to your path. Once again, my deepest gratitude, and until the next reading, stay curious, and I'll see you soon. Hello, Soul Path 2. Welcome into your reading. You chose the red selenite stone. And when I was pre-shuffling your cards, these two came out, so we will use those. Joy and Cleanse, number 14 and 30. We have enjoy the little things and clear the space for positive energy. This is pretty good energy for the month of December. I mean, obviously there could be some that are cleaning their homes, that are cleaning stuff up. There could be visitors coming, so I'm getting, visitors are coming, so you're cleaning things up and making things tidy. And joy. This is the holiday season up and coming, so that could be part of that too. But I also feel like you're going to notice the smaller things a little bit more. So while you can really notice those big things because they're in your face, they're very overt, I feel like the little things are what are going to give you little hints of even more joy than maybe you've experienced in your past. That could be some guidance as well. So there's something about clearing your space, cleaning stuff up, cleaning stuff out, maybe donating. This is a great month to do that. And to find pleasure in the small things, making your morning cup of coffee or tea, maybe lighting a candle or burning some incense, just to bring in a little bit of relaxation energy. But with this, I'm also getting home too. Ladybug, ladybug, fly away home. So there is a sense of home with the ladybug. And so cleaning your home, that's a natural association there. But let's get some tarot cards and get into your reading. For Soul Path 2, please. Now, this could also be energetic cleansing as well. So if you're feeling really heavy or bogged down, how can you energetically lighten that? And that could be in a number of ways. It could be breath work, it could be yoga, it could be meditation, it could be cleaning, doing those mindless kind of mundane tasks. So 3 cards for December. Six of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, and one more. 9 of Pentacles. All right. The Judgment at the bottom of the deck. That's clean out energy right there. That is cleaning out, cleaning up, leveling up. I mean, it is Pluto, and Pluto's a very heavy, can be a very heavy planet, but it also brings in fresh new energy as well, because you're getting rid of the things that are blocking your way. You're overcoming challenges. You're moving away from a situation, a space, a person that has been challenged, or where you feel like you can no longer grow. Now we've got minor arcanas here, all minor arcanas, which tells me that this is going to be about all of the things that you do on the day-to-day. This isn't about really big, massive events happening in your life. However, I do feel like there is some underlying universal energy at play here. But it starts with the things that you do in your life, in your day, in your physical environment, how you take action, and how you feel about the things that you're taking action on. So I feel there's something you're giving your energy to, you're giving your time or your money to, that you should, quote, feel good about, but maybe you don't. So I feel like that might be an area to clean up, clean out. There could be multiple areas as well. So it's not just one particular area in your life. It could be friendships, it could be romantic relationships, it could be work. But somehow you're still feeling good about all of this. You're feeling maybe more independent at some point in the month of December. Maybe you've had to have some help with something or receive help with something, but it's not what you want to be doing, essentially. I'm just getting a really strange kind of mirror effect where something looks good on the outside but doesn't feel great on the inside. So I almost feel like that's what you're breaking away from here. And what's interesting with the Six of Pentacles, I usually don't get this feeling, but because it is paired with the Four of Cups, there's somewhat of a dependence going on here. Like you're depending on help, which isn't a bad thing. And I don't think it is, I don't see it as a negative thing in the cards, but I think there's a strong sense of you becoming more independent from this thing. It's almost as if you need to branch out from this help to do something on your own. And I don't know what that is. We're going to get clarifiers on what this is. And again, it's like in the external world here, it's like you feel good, everything's good. I'm grateful, I'm happy, I'm feeling valued and worthy. But maybe on the inside, within your emotions, you're just not, It's like I feel there's a should going on. I should be something. Insert something here. This is Six of Pentacles. So as an example, the first example that's coming to mind is a work example. And funny enough, we have a lot of pentacles on the table here. So this would be, you know, Six of Pentacles would be somebody that shows up to work every day. Genuinely, they enjoy being at work. They like being around the people. They get decent compensation for what they do. It is a reciprocal exchange of energy, time, and money. But underneath, the job itself isn't fulfilling. Maybe you're growing tired of, I don't know, doing what you're doing there. It's just there's a lack of satisfaction there. And you're a little bit nervous about breaking away from that job because you don't really see the opportunities to do something else. But I do see there's an independence here coming through. And I don't know if that is breaking away from the job itself to do something on your own, to support yourself, to create a business, to maybe work independently. Maybe this is a partnership and you want to do something independently. Now we do have the King of Pentacles here, clarifying the Six of Pentacles. So what is this Four of Cups? So again, it has that boss energy. It has the Pentacle energy. We've got Justice here. And the Nine of Pentacles. What is that? The Hanged Man. Okay. So, I said we didn't have a lot of major arcana here, but we've got quite a number of them now. We've got Justice and the Hanged Man. Ace of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. So there's definitely a call to do something else, maybe something that is more satisfying, maybe something that feels more elevated than what you're doing. It's going to require some thought, though. It's going to require some weighing of the pros and cons, of the decisions, of the consequences. Because I feel I don't know if this King of Pentacles is somebody else or if it's you. Now I'm getting something a little bit different. Not wildly different, but it's like you own this company and you're the one, you know, paying people for their time, energy, money. Maybe you're quite generous. Maybe you donate to a lot of different people and places and causes. But there's something about you not fully satisfied in what you're doing here. So it's almost like you break away. This could be a retirement for some. Or breaking away to start something new, something from the ground up, something of your own creation. So rather than being the CEO of a company that has maybe multiple locations, multiple employees, you've got a team, you've got all kinds of different managers, etc., you're kind of just doing your own thing. But also coming back to the more general sense of this codependence of you relying on something and then breaking away to do something new, do something on your own. I think that is part of what that's about. It's about doing something that's joyful and not necessarily doing something because it looks good or that you feel obligated to do. So it's about clearing something out here. And I think it's going to require a non-emotional judgment on your part. This is about weighing all of your options, weighing the pros and cons, coming to a clear decision on what this decision needs to be. I do feel like there's a big decision at hand, or there is some kind of judgment that you have to come to, that you have to be really neutral about. I don't think this is a decision or a judgment that can be rooted in emotion. It has to be rooted in the facts. So taking those emotions into consideration, but not making it an emotional decision, I think is going to be really helpful. Now with the Hanged Man here, it's almost as if you're breaking away of how you think you should be doing something. Is the overarching general feel. Because it's like, yeah, I should be happy here. I should be happy doing this thing and doing good things or making money or having employees and being able to pay them. But it is something else. There's something else. And it's about doing something differently and not caring about, not to not care, but not worrying about how you're being perceived. Just as long as you're doing things in the correct way, in the legal way, in the diplomatic way, in a way that feels true to you. Because really, I think this is about you stepping into more of your truth here, finding more joy, cleaning out the stuff that's not working. Taking your time to suspend what you believe is true and taking your time in this process. Because I think you want to get that clarity, you want to get that enlightenment of what's next. And so you can only do that when you are clear and when you've given yourself time to break free from whatever you might be attached to. That's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. But you're looking for that opportunity, that fulfillment, that joy. And so this is about clearing that energetic space and maybe even that physical space in order to do that, to get down to the basics, the root of what you personally value. And doing something a little bit differently in order to do that. Not worried about how others might perceive you. Obviously, there is, with the justice, there needs to be a consideration of cause and effect, of consequence. But again, it's about weighing those options, weighing the pros and cons. So a couple more cards and then we will end your reading. For Soul Path 2, you'll have to let me know what this is about, if it's resonating. And you have many cards. Irritability and profanity with the poison ivy. Irritability. Yeah, you might find yourself a little irritated in this, which may cause you to make some changes. And then suspicion and turmoil. And life and death. So number 21 is right after the Judgment, which is the World card. It is that ending. I feel like, yeah, there's something here that you could be letting go of that is poisonous, that is a little tumultuous. Maybe it is a little irritable. And life and death, that always leads, death leads to rebirth. And that's what that Judgment is as well. Is being okay letting go of the toxic stuff to open up to the positive stuff. There's a lot of frustration here. And it's funny that I didn't get that in the cards, but that makes sense that there's a lot of cards that are showing on the outside things are cool, but on the inside things are not cool. And that there's joy here and positive energy, but in these cards it's like, things are not what they seem. So I do believe that you're kind of moving, and I don't really know, and maybe this is part of your energy too, is that I don't really know how to place these cards. Because there's 3 and not 2. But in any event, I am going to leave this here, my friend. I hope this resonated. Let me know if it did. Comment, like, and subscribe if you're interested in receiving more readings like this. Or if you're craving more inspiration and intuitive support, my Patreon is where I connect with you more deeply and where I share monthly energy insights, tarot messages, and soul prompts to help you stay connected to your path. And once again, my deepest gratitude. Until the next reading, stay curious, and I'll see you soon. Hello, Soul Path 3. welcome into your reading. You chose the Adventurine Stone. Very calming. I'm getting a very calming presence from that stone. You could be finding a sense of calm or needing a sense of calm in the month of December. Let's get a couple of cards. There's 3. I want 2. And if only one comes out, we will look at the bottom of the deck. So we have Nurture, Water Your Garden, and Confirmation. Keep track of important matters. You could need to nurture yourself a little bit more this month. Find spaces or find the time to lean into relaxation techniques. Calm waters is what I'm hearing, so maybe spending time around water. So numbers associated with these cards, number 35 and 53, those are mirrors of each other. So there's like a flip side to something. So if you have been hustling, for example, if you have been working really hard, then you must find the flip side to that. Again, the relaxation, the calm, the nurturing. And here we've got Water Your Garden, so again, more reference to water. But I do feel this is like a nurturing of self-care. And that doesn't necessarily mean, sitting in a bath, although that could be appropriate. It could just be doing the hard things that you've been avoiding. And that could be nothing at all, right? But there's something here of what's standing out to me in this is about important matters. So there could be some things that have been overlooked or glossed over because maybe you've been really busy. Maybe you need to confirm something. Maybe this reading is a confirmation for you. Let's get into the tarot. 3s and 5s, numbers of growth, collaboration, and challenge or changes. So those could also be something to watch out for in December. And when we nurture gardens, we give it light, we give it food, we give it water. So again, something to do with giving yourself what you need in order to help you grow, helping to see growth in your life even. So what do you need right now? If you asked yourself, what is it that you need? What is important? What are the important matters? Prioritization? Capturing memories, so spending time with people that you love to create memories, that's important. Let's get 3 cards. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It kind of clarifies that energy of, this isn't time to plant new seeds. This is time to... Oh, interesting. Okay, give me a minute. I gotcha. Gotcha. These 2 came out together. Okay, a couple of aces here. So at first, okay, King of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Oops. So with this Ace of Pentacles, I immediately was like, nope, this isn't a time to plant new seeds. It's not time to pursue anything or do anything new. It's time to chill, relax. But then the 8 of Wands came out, and I was like, okay. So this is, progress, communication, moving forward. This is about momentum as well. But what I am seeing with these 2 together is that there's something being bypassed. Because of the speed at which you might be going, there's something that could be bypassed in that process. It could be information, it could be a truth, it could be something that you're avoiding or you're not doing. Yeah, there's like a hidden opportunity that you might not be able to see. Or an opportunity that you don't want to move on because there's something else that you're doing. it's here though, so there's an opportunity to do something new, but I don't think the soil is quite fertile yet. Something needs to be nurtured here. I think your focus is elsewhere. That's an interesting message. I'm getting something's being buried too. Something's being put away, something's being set aside, buried, hidden. And you're focusing on something else. The Ace of Swords in reverse and the Nine of Cups in reverse. Whatever you're moving towards, I don't think you have a ton of clarity or know if it's going to provide any satisfaction. So I just feel this tunnel vision's happening here. Of, yep, there's nothing to see, nowhere to go here. I'm just going to move forward and continue and carry on. But there is important information here with the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles that you could be equally moving away from or bypassing, and in that process not having clarity about it either. It's like, I don't know where I'm going, I'm just going, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. I don't know if it's going to bring satisfaction or joy. I'm just doing, I'm just going. So there's something hidden, something internal that could be going on here with these aces. New opportunity to do something, to cultivate something, to nurture something. And then there's important information here with this Ace of Swords. So these oracle cards are being clarified in these aces here. So there's a truth, there's an understanding, there's a conversation, there is information that could be learned about maybe how you chase your desires, how you reach your goals. There's an action that's being taken that I feel is being encouraged to be looked at right now. It may be too fast, so you're missing some details, you're missing some important information, maybe even something in your life, something important in your life that you're missing because of the speed at which you are trying to achieve your own personal goals. And there's nothing wrong with that, but because these cards came out, I do believe that this is a month to pay attention, to possibly slow down and make more mindful decisions. The King of Swords in reverse can be very impulsive and doesn't really consider the consequences for the actions or the communications or the thoughts, the decisions. It's like no one else's opinion or advice or guidance matters. It's all about where I'm going. And again, in certain contexts, in certain situations, that could be, fine. But I think there needs to be an opening up to receive here. Ace of Pentacles. What is this? Temperance. Yeah, there's a balance. So it's not about the material world or the spiritual world or the emotional world. It's bringing all these things into balance to create an alchemy, to alchemize something, the not so great stuff, into something of benefit, of worth, of value, of emotional balance. We've got one foot on the ground and the other one tapped into the situation, or the other foot tapped into how we feel. So there's a practical and either a more spiritual or emotional balance that comes in with that. And even an overcoming of obstacles. So I think that taking your time is going to be important so that you can balance things a little bit better, so that you can heal something. There could be something in your physical body that needs healing right now. Eight of Wands. What is this? Or your spiritual body needs a bit of healing. Yeah. Page of Pentacles in reverse. There's like, nope, I'm just going for it. And it's interesting that both of these pentacles here are in reverse, because this Page of Pentacles takes this one, accepts it, and then carries it forward. They learn what it's all about. They explore, they discover, they get curious about that resource, that opportunity that they have. This page takes their time. They focus. There's a focus, and there's a lack of focus here because this is in reverse and the Eight of Wands is in the upright. So there's just a tunnel vision going on, and I'm not quite sure why. Okay, we've got the Ten of Swords here clarifying that. So we've got the Ten of Swords here clarifying the Ace of Swords in reverse, and the Nine of Cups in reverse. And then we've got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So there's a reason why this slowdown energy, this nurturing energy is coming through, is because there's something that needs to be healed from here. This could be a mental health issue that needs to be addressed. This could be a relationship that needs to be finished up, to be wrapped up, to be split from. I don't know. But with this 10, this is an ending, and we cannot start something new unless we clear space and end something that will create that space. Now, I do feel that these two are attached. So the Eight of Wands is this push, this forward momentum, this speed at which you are moving. Could be avoiding some kind of ending that you've gone through or will come up against. So I almost wonder if and it's in an interesting order, because I would expect this Ten of Swords to be back here and the Temperance to be up here and the Ace of Swords over here and the Eight of, I feel like this should be shuffled around in a different way. So it's almost like there's steps that are being skipped. And with the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like there's an avoidance to look at something that's not working. And maybe you don't see that. Maybe that's part of the discovery this month, is to see where there is opportunity to look at things in a different way. Look at how you're doing something. So how are you taking action, and why are you taking action in that way? If speed is involved, if you're just a go, go, go kind of person, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But are you taking time to see the flip side of that, where you are taking time to decompress, to de-stress, to relax, to enjoy your life, to nurture your physical and your mental body? Or is there some stress or anxiety kind of driving that momentum forward? And if there is, then does that need to be addressed, looked at, taken care of? Because there's a lot on the mind here, to the point where it is impacting your mental health. There could even be some physical issues like in your back as well. So you're carrying this weight. You're carrying some kind of pain, or there's some kind of suffering occurring. And that could be why you can't quite find your joy, is that you're looking for it in the external to some degree. Maybe you're looking for it through action, like if I just do this or do that, then it'll resolve itself. That may be the case. But this reading is kind of giving me the idea that this has to be addressed in a way that is mindful, that is slow, and possibly with someone that can give you guidance or direction, like a professional, to unpack something here. Let's get a couple more cards and end your reading. 2 more cards for Soul Path 3. We have perceptiveness, interesting, and vision. Yeah, I think there's a perception shift that you are experiencing in December. Vulnerability and threat. 16, 18. And remember I said buzz. There's a bee. So I think your perception is shifting because of whatever is going on here. And maybe you're having a new vision about things because you're working through it or will work through it. 16 is the Tower card, 18 is the Moon. So there's some internal foundations that I feel are really being shaken up right now. And there's new opportunities here to not only have a different way of thinking about something, a different perception, a different way of making decisions, but there's also a huge unknown and maybe a darkness that comes with that, because you kind of have to be a little bit vulnerable, and that may threaten your ego, if you will. And the ego is not a bad thing, but it is part of the subconscious that can drive our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our belief system. And so if we're coming from and taking action from those lower places where the ego is in charge, then we do things that might be out of alignment, that might be in reaction to a certain feeling that we don't want to have, to avoid discomfort, because the ego does not like to be uncomfortable. And this, I feel, is a very uncomfortable place to be. So there's a vulnerability here and also a threat to that, because you have to leave the familiar to shift gears into something that is a little unfamiliar and unknown. So all the more reason to maybe do some research. Shadow work could be something that could be quite helpful. And working with a professional could bring some things to the surface that could really help you moving forward and releasing some of the blocks, maybe some of the anxieties or the stresses that you are moving through. All right, my friend, I'm going to leave the reading here. Let me know if and how this reading resonated and if you feel comfortable sharing. Comment, like, and subscribe for more videos like this. Or if you're craving more inspiration and intuitive support, my Patreon is where I connect with you more deeply and where I share monthly energy insights, tarot messages, and soul prompts to help you stay connected to your path. Once again, my deepest gratitude, and until the next reading, stay curious, and I'll see you soon.